if you make money in Hypixel Skyblock, then this video is just for you. Because as you know, making money is one of the most important parts of Skyblock. And without money, you really can't do that much. And that's why this is a video about how you can be more efficient when making money and what you should do instead of the normal money making methods. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so right before we begin, I just wanted to mention I will be uploading a ton more this month because I need to hit 2.5k by the end of the year. Because if I do, I kind of made like a deal that I would get my friends G-Drag. So yeah, please like and subscribe. It just means I'll be making better content as a whole. Yeah, back to your video. So first of all, what money making method can you, yes, you do, that makes an ungodly amount of money per hour with basically no setup? And I'll give you a hint. It's not mining, farming, dungeons, or some goofy old rift method. It's instead lowballing. Yes, lowballing. You heard that right. And wait, before you click off, this isn't some goofy old lowballing tutorial. No, it's not how to lowball. Instead, I'll be telling you the only way you should be making money in this game, which is lowballing. So you're probably wondering why lowballing is so much more efficient than other money making methods, and that would be because, first of all, it makes some insane rates. So starting with the obvious, lowballing has some rates that are pretty much comparable with Infernal Kudra. In fact, it's just so much better than mining, farming, and basically all the other methods, and you can only compare it to Kudra because of how much money it makes. As well as that, it's not relatively RNG based, and honestly, Kudra is kind of RNG based, and if you don't get some good drops during Infernal Kudra, you won't be making as much money as lowballing will, and in fact, lowballing is probably better than Infernal Kudra. So it's just also so much easier to get into while just making as much money as a hype max setup. As you probably know, you don't need much gear to start lowballing. In fact, you don't need any gear at all. All you need is to sell your pre-existing items and make sure you have a big chunky purse. And lowballing, unlike other money making methods, is less about how much gear you have and more about how long you started building up your skills. Skills as in memorizing markets, learning how to talk to people without sounding really toxic, and just generally knowing how much profit you should be making after you lowball an item. And as soon as you learn these skills, you should be able to get as good as you need for lowballing, and honestly, from there, you should be making a ton of money already. And really, it's all about the skill and literally nothing about the gear. So this may be incredibly controversial, but you'll find that the main parts of a money-making method come from these three things. The first one being making money. The second one being making money. But the third one is also about making money. So I find that a lot of other money-making methods don't just make money. In fact, they make skill XP, Skyblock XP, and generally XP. But XP is money then, because you would be sacrificing your money for some XP. Because if you think about it, if you're gemstone mining and making about 30 mil an hour, why don't you go lowball? And since lowballing makes 100 mil an hour, that would mean you're spending 60 million coins per hour on your skill XP. And of course, do you really want to spend 60 mil per hour on like 2 mil mining XP per hour? No, of course you don't. You can buy purple Jerry boxes. That's what those are for. And lowballing may be lacking in these other forms, but of course, you'll be making money. And that would basically mean you can buy your way through Skyblock. Mining isn't going to be hard for you because you've got the money to buy dividends as soon as you get into it. Kudra won't be hard for you because then you've got money to do it with. Everything else will be easy, apart from Rift if you're like a really weird person. But of course, if you lowball, it just basically makes the entire game a lot easier because it really is a money-making method that will make you money, unlike the other ones which randomly give you XP. So you want to be focusing more on your money at the start when you're making money than your skills, because a money-making method is not called a skills money-making method now, is it? I already know there's going to be this one kid in the comments who's going to say that 500 mil is a lot for low requirements. But then if you think about it, mining costs you 1.5 bill, as well as a lot of time grinding for requirements, and it makes only a measly 20 mil per hour after that. And that absolutely sucks for the amount of time that you put into it. And then we've got Kudra, which takes even longer because you need a ton more money to start Infernal. And Infernal basically makes the same amount of money as good lowballing. And yeah, if you think about it, lowballing has really, really, really low requirements now, because it literally needs nothing apart from a little bit of money compared to everything else, and just a little bit of skill. And you'll be making a ton of money that will basically make you set for life. And yeah, it's a lot better than everything else because you don't need all that time in getting requirements. Okay, so this is another really important part of lowballing, because you're not wasting any time and you're making the most money that you could make in an hour because you're being fully efficient in that hour. Unlike other things like Kudra and dungeons, there's no party finder. There's nothing that you can just wait on. And there's no time between runs or like inefficiency or anything. It's just like mining or farming. It's just a ton better. And really, this just means that you won't be making subpar amounts of money and you won't be completely reliant on RNG. And that just makes you in control of everything that you do. Okay, so finally, lowballing is a very stable money-making method because it doesn't rely on as much RNG as dungeons or Kudra, because everything is basically in your control. When you're lowballing, it's your island. You can choose what goes and what doesn't. Sometimes you'll have to be harsh, but this basically means that you're in control of your profits. You can choose what you do and don't lowball. You can set a minimum for what you want to buy, and you can also just generally control all of your profits as a whole. And that just basically means you know what you're making. You know exactly what you're doing, and everything's up to you, and it's not up to the game. And that just makes everything so much better because you don't need to care about anything else. You don't need to care about ping. You don't need to care about like RNG. You just care about your things. And that makes it so much more personalized and just so much better. Okay, so generally lowballing is just so much more efficient because you're able to personalize the entire thing. You know what you're making. It's not gear dependent. It's really easy to get into. It makes absolutely insane rates. And you won't be wasting any of your time when you're doing it. So yeah, thanks for watching the video and go lowball, I guess. Yeah, see ya.